Stan Gibelisco here, proprietor and operator of amateur radio station W1GV with another band watch, propagation observation from the Black Hills of Dakota Territory, United States of America, where the date is August 28th, 2013, Mountain Daylight Time, 6:16 p.m., 0016 UTC on August 29th. Our summer's wearing away. Great weather here, though. I anticipate a nice, long, dry, sunny fall, followed by a winter that will make the history books, probably starting in late December, January. Bam, 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 bam. South Dakota, North Dakota, Nebraska, Wyoming, possibly Minnesota and Iowa will get hammered by blizzard after blizzard, reminiscent of the old winters that you've read about in the history books, such as some of those in the 1800s, where they found ribbons on utility poles 30 feet off the ground when all of the snow melted. I've seen 20-foot drifts here in blizzards, but they'll be worse than that this one, and cold. I'm getting stocked up. Are you? Well, if you live down south, maybe not so much. This is W1AW, as you probably guessed. 20 meters, 14 megahertz, coming in pretty well. Let's look at 18 megahertz. Coming in all right there, too. Their code bulletin. And they're coming in very nicely on 15 meters, just like they did last night. On 10 meters, though, can't hear them. So evidently, we're not getting propagation. The maximum usable frequency between here and Newington, Connecticut is somewhere between 21 and 28 megahertz. Well, I don't think I have to spend a whole lot of time checking out this 20-meter band. This is where my antenna is optimized. It's a 22-foot vertical, capacitively loaded at the bottom, with a 50 picofarad fixed capacitor, which causes it to resonate like a quarter-wave antenna. But it's a little longer than that, so it gets a little more of a current loop up in the air. Just see if there's any DX. And it works very well. It's mounted on my deck. It's got a clear shot to South America. 10 watts CW, 7 watts PSK 31. Oh, speaking of those digital modes, I finally got an MFSK signal to come in, and I managed to demodulate it with a program called Hamscope 1.56. Okay, we're ending up at QSO. W4CI is saying so long to a DX station somewhere, but I can't hear that DX station. Now see, we got a hill going over towards the northwest and the north, and that obstructs low-angle waves on these higher frequency bands. So let's get back to W1AW. And we've got, we can get up on the SSB filter and speed things up just a wee bit. Get up to the phase shift keying part of the band. That's another landmark I use, kind of another beacon. Plenty of signals there. Now as for MFSK, I've demonstrated what that sounds like to you. This isn't it. It goes faster than this. I don't know what this is. I don't know what that is. Maybe it's some other. It's obviously multiple frequency shift keying of some kind. There's W1AW. Let's go down, down, down. Now that tunes the antenna to a 1-to-1 SWR at the radio, but it's something more on the order of 7-to-1 on the antenna. That was just a little test that I find it 5-to-1 here at the radio on the feed line, probably more like 7-to-1 at the antenna. You knew, of course, didn't you, that because of feed line loss, inherent feed line loss, the SWR at your antenna is actually a little worse than what an SWR meter is going to tell you at the radio. So you really have to measure it at the feed point to know for sure what it is, but it's bad. I still work DX, though, by force feeding this antenna, so that just goes to show you that you got to try before you give up. Well, to avoid being a hypocrite, let me send a CQ. Let me send a little CQ here. Keep the calls short and sweet. That's what I like about my call sign W1GV, is that it sings good on CW. You don't have to send real fast. You can just send that call sign once. And I've cracked some pile-ups on CW with this call sign. Sticks in people's minds, just the sound of it. Well, I suppose we could go up to the sideband part of this band, and I mean, after all, I'm supposed to be doing a band watch here, right? That's W1AW. Well, now that's not a birdie. Somebody's tuning up.
Although some similar, but more of one type than the other. But anyway, you know what I was thinking?
Can you understand that? Well, anyway, he's rag chewing. He's probably stateside, judging by the sound of it. Let's go up to 21 megahertz. Then we can go down, down, down. I'll open it up. Doubt I'm going to hear much, if anything. Now, I can force feed the antenna on this band tube, but the SWR is even worse. Here than it is. Well, now the band is open, but there's nobody home. $24, $8.90 to $9.90. Let's go up to the top first. That's almost 25 megahertz, really. I keep thinking of it as the 24 megahertz band, but really, it's closer to 25 megahertz. 12 meters? 12 meters. Well, let's go to 11 meters. I'm always going to check that out just to see. Well, there are people up here. But see, now this is the problem with Citizens Band, is that you get a lot of skip. It interferes with the short-range communications that you want to use it for if you've got an emergency or something. And you can't understand any of this most of the time either, because there are several AM stations, one on top of the other, garbled up. Or it's something like this where, see, well, that's a foreign language. It sounds kind of like Spanish, but I'm not sure. But that's out of the Citizens Band. I don't know what they're doing there. Well, they're freebanding, obviously. Ah, isn't it great? Freedom, ain't it a wonderful thing? Just go ahead and swing your arms as long as there ain't nobody else's nose in the way. Who cares, huh? Well, that's our Citizens Band. And there's some more foreign language stuff. See, now, if you were out in the middle of Dakota Territory, West River, during a blizzard, such as the one we're going to have this epic winter, you get on here and you try to use this thing for emergencies because you're out of the range of a cell phone tower, or maybe the wind has knocked a cell phone tower down, or you're out in West Texas. See, that's foreign language, probably Spanish. Well, see, there are lots of signals here, but then you go on up to the 10-meter ham radio band. Birdie. That might be a computer artifact. Just a few birdies, really little birdies, maybe like sparrows, hummingbirds, maybe big hornets. Well, that'll just about end her up here. I'll go back to the 14 megahertz band. We'll go down on the CW part of that band. Well, that's not so good. W1AW, beautiful music. Here's the ham scope program that I actually got W1AW sending MFSK on. It's not focusing very well in it. There we go. It's copying the CW. With this cool little waveform display down here, this audio spectrum analysis. Ham scope 1.56, you can download it, just Google on it. So with that, here's our frequency once again. Stan Jabalisco signing off, 73, so long.